This is going to be a good one, y'all. It's all about ley lines. Man, it's all cool. It's stuff I'm into. Has to do with a lot of different stuff throughout history. And it's pretty deep. And definitely I want to give a lot of different opinions and different things throughout this whole thing. So with that one, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Let's go ahead and jump into it. But I will, about like the 10 mark, I'm gonna cut into it, and we gonna converse. We're gonna have a conversation for a minute, and then we're gonna jump right back into it, and then finish it out. And then of course I'll give you your exit thoughts and different things like that. But again, ley lines is a really cool thing, and I've always been interested in them since I was a kid. Like, since my dad told me that my grandpa used to be a plumber, but then also he did like plumber, but then also like piping in general for the state and other things. And so with that being said, like, I learned what that is, what a ley line is, and then also just all the different, I guess, theories. They wouldn't really be conspiracies because it's actually what it is. It's an actual theory of what a ley line is, not a conspiracy or something that could be. But then again, everybody else throws all the other stuff into it, which you are going to learn in this video. But like I said, I'm not going to keep you to it. We're going to roll up into it. I will see you at the
ley line is a straight fault line in the Earth's tectonic plates. This is a scientific fact. Through these cracks in the Earth's tectonic plates, the magnetic energies released are very powerful indeed. Many people have claimed to have felt the urge surge up their body, and some have claimed that they have blacked out, as the surge was that powerful. How long have human beings known about ley lines? Our ancestors have known about these ley lines for thousands of years. Every race and culture on this planet has known about these lines, yet everyone had different names for these lines. All we need to do is look at the ancient cultures of Earth. Take the native Indians of the United States. They used to call ley lines spirit lines, and their shamans used to use the electromagnetic energy in these lines to help them contact the spirits. They even designed their medicine wheel on the spirit lines, as they knew these lines followed a straight round line. How did they know about these lines and energies that they give off? The answer is simple. The sky gods told them. In Europe, we were led to believe that the Druids called them mystical lines. In Wales, they use the same name in Eastern countries. They call them dragon lines. We know that Eastern countries call them dragon lines, as the sky gods flew in dragons along these lines. The Aboriginal people of Australia call these lines dream lines, and once again, they claim that this knowledge was passed on to them
to harness the boundless telluric electricity from the atmosphere and from below the surface of the ground. Going back to as early as the Stone Age, the Neolithic tribes were fully aware of these locations and potency of them. This is why such massive stone circles were built. With such geomagnetic capacitors, tribes could harness the telluric electricity. But during the last 75 years, these precious sites seem to have been forgotten or become disused. They have become inverted to the spiritual use of these electrical.
A line exists that marks monasteries and other places of worship dedicated to the Archangel Michael. What if we were to tell you that this represents a straight line, the path of the ancient sun? Wait till you hear this. What else to mark out landmark structures in a straight line right across Europe, the Middle East? A celestial object once took this path, and for that reason, Earthlings living in that path would erect these structures in such a way that it came directly in the path of worship. But Saint Michael is the assimilated figure of the god Mirtha, and in the Zoroastrian faith, it was Mirtha whom was like the god Ahura Mazda, and Mirtha, or Saint Michael as he was known as in the Christian tradition, appeared next to the Taurus field. He is one of the two whom flank the great figure in the sky.
Parthenon, Oracle of Delphi, René Le Chateau, Ziggurat, the Vatican, DC Capitol, Mecca, Hagia Sophia, Aztec Pyramids, Bermuda Triangle, Coral Castle, Tesla's lab in Shoreham, New York, including all nuclear power plants, military bases, and stadiums, which are also used to harness energy, on René's Le Chateau in France, which is also on a ley line. It is documented that Alexander the Great was guided by Aristotle to take control of the major dome centers of these intersecting ley lines from dark forces, which is why he put his top general, Ptolemy, to rule Egypt. Interestingly, Cleopatra, the last pharaoh, alongside with both her husbands, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony of Rome, were defeated by the Romans, where they eventually destroyed the biggest library in Alexandria, Egypt, before taking all the knowledge with them, sending us into the Dark Ages. During the medieval times, anyone who had any knowledge of hermetics was designated a heretic and died a horrible death. This held true for whoever knew how to read or write, a heresy, leaving only the royals.
1821, the famous Englishman who was a member of the Royal Photographic Society of Great Britain made a remarkable discovery. Because Alfred Watkins had become a self-taught archaeologist, he noticed that sites from the Neolithic age in the United Kingdom all fell into an exact alignment. Both man-made and natural-looking monuments could be connected by exactly straight pathways. Alfred Watkins described these routes as ley lines and opened up the electromagnetic parameters of supernatural and spiritual beliefs. Alfred Watkins wrote 3 very important books which he confirmed that geomagnetic ley lines resonate in exact alignments across the United Kingdom of Great Britain. In the book The Old Straight Track, its mounds, beacons, moats, sites and markstones, Alfred Watkins argued that geomagnetic ley lines represented trading routes of the antediluvian period and the Neolithic age, which the communities of the British Isles regularly used. The straight lines allowed the Neolithic tribes and Celtic Britons to travel from a single location to another as quickly. He worked around Stonehenge and Avebury, so he discovered the whole kind of mechanics to Stonehenge and Avebury. And obviously Watkins had looked at his work and taken some of his work. Stukely noted how many Roman roads, which, if you know about the Roman history, it's pretty dark when the Romans entered Britain, how they just destructed all these kind of energetic points. But Stukely noted that how many Roman roads were constructed along these ancient ley lines. So all these ancient ley lines were all mapped out. In recent years, you had obviously Jean-Michel, who wrote the amazing book The View Over Atlantis, but he was an author, an esotericist, and he made a huge amount of contributions to the whole kind of Earth mystery idea. But the ley lines are very important for our well-being, and they're very important that when we go along these lines, as I said before, we reactivate information, we find information and knowledge, and remember what's bringing up to present day is all the distortions and inversions have led from this point, because the history we've been taught is only half-truths. It's not the real full truth of what we are. And this is important that we remember it and understand that we can remember this information. By remembering, we will reactivate. The development of the Celtic Britons was entirely linked with sites like Stonehenge and Avebury Circle. Other essential sites were the Rollright Stones in Oxfordshire, Michel's Fold in southwestern Shropshire, and Castlerigg Stone Circle that is located nearby to Keswick in west central Cumbria. Each of the Irish and British Druids were fully aware of how subterranean waterways flow beneath the ley lines, and the telluric currents were always potent in Pacific expanses of the Sceptrid Isle that was once called Albion, then Britain. Perhaps it was the case that this kind of advanced technology came from the civilization of the Atlantean continent and the Atlantean Islands and was covertly brought into the British Isles during the antediluvian period or the Upper Paleolithic.
Hopefully you're liking these videos I'm doing, and thank you for if you do watch it and you get in the middle and you see this. Definitely I want to say thank you to anybody and everybody, man. Like, this stuff does matter to me. It does take time doing this. Like, I know I'm rapid firing these off, but I've had them in the can for a minute. I just had to go and cut them and put them all together. So I do have a lot of them, but like I said, like, this ley line stuff, dude, is crazy. So, like, one of the biggest things growing up that I was taught, like I was saying at the very beginning, is like my grandpa did stuff for piping for the state, and then did like just normal, you know, plumbing for the town that I live in and stuff, in the town that my dad was grew up in and everything, and the town that he was born in and whatnot. And after that, like, finding out basically like what ley lines were, then like everything else that I found out, which was like the lady, I cannot think of her name, it's out of my mind at this point in time, but the Winchester family, like, she believed because of like all of the guns that took the lives of many men because of the misfiring and the defective work, and then all of the guns that actually did work and killed people was a curse. And she kept building the house. I cannot for the life of me remember fully where it's at, but she was building it up, and it's on 3 different ley lines, or a T in a sense. And it is for, I believe it's for the supernatural, because she said, and she believed that the spirits was cursing her for these things, and that she was told to go where she was told and to build on these ley lines to open up portals for you know, what's behind the veil, for the paranormal. Of course, I do believe in the paranormal on a vast scale, but then I do have my levels. You know, when I hit a certain level, if it's not at what I believe or what I think could be, then it's out the window. I don't play around. But with certain other things, like if it's right there in my ballpark of what could actually be real and scary at the same time, then yeah, I'm definitely in it, and you know, like, I'm there to be immersed in that whole thing of paranormal activity, and then just being a paranormal investigator as well, which I want to do that later down the line. As long as this can all pan out, I want to do that later down the line, because I really do like that stuff. So going back into it, ley lines also give like basically a charge to any type of spirit because of water, and because of it being in the ground. Most people say because of the water, it charges the spirits wherever they are at within, you know, either a graveyard or wherever, you know, they are actually buried. So that was one thing I learned when I was younger too, and then I learned in general also the whole going back to the Winchester thing, and the lady building that for the spirits to kind of basically have a conduit to go in and out. The lady was doing that for that, but I learned because she was doing it because of the water and because of the ley lines, and that's what I learned at a very young age about ley lines. But then I also learned all the other different properties with like copper, some of the stuff. I'm not for certain if it already explained that, the stuff with the copper, but how copper and water have like different basically electrolytes in a sense, and it heals your body. It rejuvenates it. And I do believe in this because I've known many different people when I was super young as a teenager that I was around, that was in my family, that would have big, huge copper fucking cups. And they would always drink out of that. That's what they would always drink out of when they would drink their waters. Now, if they were only drinking other stuff, they would drink out of like glasses and stuff like that. And then also I've known people with their dogs to have copper bowls for their dogs to give, again, you know, the electrolytes, the energy that comes from that. And that's the other thing is that the water that comes from a ley line, a lot of people have theories about that, as well as like it being some type of basically a kind of like a car jump starter, you know, like if it has that property of energy to it from the ley line, where the ley line's at and how deep the ley line goes into that water, then you know it could or it could not be. You know, it's depending upon if you believe that the veil is real or if you believe the veil is not real. But that's on a whole different level. And then, you know, water in general is a whole complete different conspiracy. Same thing like with salt. Salt is a big different conspiracy as well, or it has different theories about what people has used it for throughout the years. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Peace!
Where the usage of this technology was studied.
The answer may lie in the rocks themselves. Many megaliths are rich in quartz and magnetite, materials known for their unique electromagnetic properties. These stones can generate electricity when subjected to pressure or vibrations, a phenomenon known as the piezoelectric effect. Even more intriguing is the fact that many megalithic sites feature stones that were quarried from sites many miles away, indicating that the ancient megalithic builders went to great lengths to obtain precisely the right kind of stones for their structures. Picture a megalith as a giant natural battery, constantly charging and discharging in rhythm with the Earth's energetic pulse. This image isn't far from the findings of Pierre Moreau, a 19th century electrical engineer who studied the megalithic sites at Karnak. Moreau's work at Karnak revealed some startling insights. Despite being a skeptic who did not ascribe to the New Age spiritual philosophies popular in his day, Moreau's scientific investigations led to unexpected conclusions. He analyzed the voltage and magnetic variations of the megalithic stones at Karnak and found them to be associated with electrical induction. Moreau's findings include the following. The stones emitted energy in concentric circles like ripples in a pond. They seemed to recharge approximately every 7 minutes, suggesting a cyclical energy pattern. Different structures serve different energetic purposes. Dolmens function like electrical coils, while stone circles behaved like electrical condensers. The stones produced a pulsing energetic field that carried both negative and positive charges. Moreau's readings of the stones were most powerful at dawn. The quartz found in these stones made them especially suitable for generating these varied currents. Interestingly, the ancient builders deliberately chose to quarry the quartz-containing stones at Karnak from a site 60 miles away. Earth acupuncture, healing the planet. Freddie Silva, in his book Portals, Energetic Doorways to Mystical Experiences Between Worlds, proposes an intriguing theory that megalithic sites function as a form of earth acupuncture. Silva suggests that ancient structures were strategically positioned to amplify and direct the Earth's magnetic field, similar to how acupuncture needles balance the body's energy. Silva believes this ancient megalithic practice served as a kind of earth acupuncture that naturally amplified the local magnetic field in order to interface with the energies of earth and sky. This theory suggests that our ancestors were not just building monuments, but creating a network of energetic hotspots.
Great Circle at Stonehenge is also situated above several meandering fault lines which encircle the monument. The renowned English polymath and broadcaster called Paul Devereux points out that fault lines are intimately associated with earthlights, unknown luminescent balls of telluric electricity which for reasons unknown appear in close proximity to them. Paul Devereux is a co-founder and the managing editor of the academic publication Time and Mind, the Journal of Archaeology, Consciousness and Culture, and a research fellow with the International Consciousness Research Laboratories at Princeton University in the United States. Earthlights have been witnessed at Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain in southeastern Wiltshire, and if they closely followed the fault line route, the effect would have been spectacular, as the earthlights would encircle Stonehenge. Perhaps this is why the megalithic sites were aligned upon them, as earthlights were witnessed during these important ceremonies. Though we look at sites like Stonehenge and other stone circles as just rocks placed on the earth, these are highly advanced structures that were built to activate this earth energy. Although not discussed in the mainstream, it was the Albion giants that actually constructed Stonehenge and the Neolithic tribes. They were obsessed with subterranean electrical waterways and the harmonic surface patterning such waterways emitted. It is a well-known fact that subterranean waterways are an excellent conductor of telluric electricity. Humans were once fully aware of the subterranean waterways and intentionally built upon the geomagnetic nodes to create potent dimensional portals into the 4D hologram.
Two, and ball is one of these. And there are two balls which create this three-dimensional world. The toroidal field is a multi-dimensional energy pattern. It is a universal blueprint in which all energy and matter manifests. It's a donut-shaped configuration in which all the energy is in a continuous loop. This is not an atom. This is the real atom, an electromagnetic field. Universe is one field of energy, and your brain is decoding this energy into a reality that you can interact with. Whatever your mind and emotions project into the energy is what you create in your reality. Central axis is called a hyperboloid. This is where energy comes in and then out. This is the inhale and exhale of the universe, breathing day and night, life and death. That's why your nose is a hyperboloid. Yahweh is the inhale Yah and exhale is Way, Yahweh. You can hear this if you breathe with your nostrils. Physical is phi cycle. Phi is a torus field. We live in a cycle of a torus field. And you have an anatomy because you are a giant atom. And the binary code 0 and 1 comes from the torus.
Conductors of telluric electricity are found at Stonehenge, and a map was produced by the master dowser Guy Irwin Underwood. Wherever the subterranean waterways are located in the United Kingdom of Great Britain, there will be a piezoelectric current which then accumulates until the current becomes telluric electricity and forms a geomagnetic concentration. In such locations across Dorset, Wiltshire, Somerset and Gloucestershire, as with other areas in the United Kingdom, many kinds of earthlights then emerge and shimmer in the evening time or early hours of the morning. Guy Irwin Underwood made 207 visits to Stonehenge and produced 105 surveys of the earth energies, fault lines and water lines situated at this.
With these two metal rods, using the medieval technique of dowsing, Ron tells me I should be able to detect the spiritual powers running around the stones.
I'm throwing you in at the deep end here. You've never done this before, so just walk forward, tune into this energy that's coming from the stones and ask for your rods. Just there, and there we go. Now, are you doing that, or has that done it by itself?
It's done it by itself.
There we are. Now that that's done, now just walk out slowly now, just to show that something is happening through your rods or through you.
Yeah,
It's through you.
This is extraordinary. I've discovered a new power that I didn't know I had. Is it a power or is it a sensitivity?
As far as I'm concerned, 80% of the population can do this.
Yeah. Oh, and there's me thinking I'm special.
Now walk back out and watch them open up. As soon as you... So, the energy is there.
Yes.
There it is there.
Yeah. As a brother of the Presbyterian, I think this could be the work of the devil. I'm not sure.
That's what lots of people believe.
Yeah. So which way is the energy flowing today? It's so spooky. I don't know what to make of this.
YouTube videos, forums, Facebook groups. There's news articles, Countryfile, BBC, Countryfile, Telegraph, The Guardian. There all is clearly a market for this stuff, and people are just buying into it like nothing else.
I'm a bit sceptical about ley lines, especially. Not that they're not there, but I think a lot of it's wishful thinking. This church here is 11th century, probably Saxon foundations, before Saxon foundations, with an ancient tribal settlement.
Okay, so Mark did his calibration, stuck them in the ground. They apparently didn't have to do that. Now we went around the side of the church, I believe on the west side, and straight away Mark found, I don't know, let's call it a line, or he found a spot where the dowsing rods crossed. Now he went back and forth a couple of times, did it in different ways, and every single time the rods crossed. This is cool. I mean, so both of them basically faced, when you did it, every single rod you did faced in this broadly the same angle. So we went to the other side of the church on the east side to see if you could sort of make a line, and lo and behold, once again it did cross, almost dissected the
well, Mark's kind of probably just like tweaking it with his hand or tweaking it with his, you're thinking like there's something going on, so I'm gonna have a go in a minute, and we'll see what happens.
So we tried to go over exactly the same spots as where Mark had success, and I didn't have a great deal of success on the first one or two goes. Nothing happened at all.
Yeah, they're both pulling that way.
You're pulling back towards the chancel, which is there, yeah? So that could be where it's flowing out.
Yeah, they want to do the right hand side thing. They're not crossing, but they want to do that.
So then, right, okay, that's good.
That's his. Look, that's not me. That's doing it there.
Right, okay, that looks about right.
Because I intended.
Inventor Nikola Tesla, aware of the unique alignments of the Egyptian pyramids and their connection to ley lines. Tesla's fascination with the pyramids, renowned for their precision and alignment with celestial bodies, suggests a potential association with these unseen pathways that link ancient sites worldwide. Could Tesla's admiration for the pyramids have been influenced by their location on powerful ley lines? Although there's no substantial evidence, Tesla seemed to either know or perhaps learned of this knowledge through a contact or ancient text. Following this intriguing theory, we delve into Tesla's work in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and Wardenclyffe, New York. Both these places, noteworthy for Tesla's revolutionary experiments, sit on ley lines. In Colorado Springs, Tesla focused his efforts on deciphering and manipulating electricity, the setting for his iconic laboratory. This location is positioned directly over a significant ley line. The story at Wardenclyffe, New York is familiar. This is the site where Tesla started his bold ambition to build a wireless transmission tower, which, however, never got fulfilled. Yet, just like Colorado Springs, Wardenclyffe is located on a ley line, further reinforcing a potential connection between Tesla and these connecting geographical alignments. This brings us to question, was Tesla's choice of these sites a mere coincidence, or had he more time been able to plug into these ley line connections how he intended? The mystery remains unsolved, but the questions themselves fuel our curiosity and magnify.
Was the telluric energy getting pulled into the earth? Was it using copper, how was it getting pulled down? Was there mercury vortex engines on the top of them, for example? Or give us an example.
They were using different things like gold-plated metal rods, or perhaps copper rods that were specifically placed in key locations where these geomagnetic ley lines were, to create specific types of frequencies and vibrations that were highly beneficial to the actual growth of the crop. We know from looking at the city of Dukagir in the Zugzari region of northern Tataria, as with the cities of Dauri and Nikaeklo in the Oenski region of southern Tataria, the same kind of electroculture farming practices were also used to create maximum yield in terms of the optimal growth of fruits.
Where two or more ley lines intersect are marked with obelisks, such as Washington, D.C. Monument, Vatican Courtyard, and Cleopatra's Needle in Central Park. These electromagnetic lines of the Earth are its veins, and receive its energies from the sun that connects and affects every living thing on this planet. We are electrical, and our atoms surrounded by electrons, electricity. Greg Braden explains it best by asking us, where does our heart get its electrical capacity from? We are connected to the Earth's electromagnetic fields, and our heart is our battery. Many of our ancient spiritual figures knew of this hidden knowledge, and meditated or prayed on these lines, or megalithic centers, which elevated their electrical ores, intellect, and connection to higher self through the activation of the 7 energy centers, chakras. Could this in fact be what the golden halos depicted on all spiritual figures?
Right in front of the Flatiron Building. This is the obelisk dedicated to General William Worth, who fought in the Mexican-American War and conquered all the way down to Mexico City. Yep, he's buried right underneath here. There's 2 other obelisks in New York City, right by St. Paul's in downtown Manhattan, that's dedicated to Thomas Addis Emmet, the advocate for Irish independence and also a New York State Attorney General. And then there's another obelisk right behind the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Cleopatra's Needle, which was erected in 1881 and imported over from Egypt. Take out a map and there's something even more strange. You draw a straight line from the obelisk at St. Paul's all the way to Cleopatra's Needle, and right in the middle perfectly is this obelisk. What's up with that? Cleopatra's Needle was installed by Freemasons. Thomas Addis Emmet, a Freemason, and General Worth, a Freemason. And 1 block away is the Freemason headquarters.
So
is it coincidence?
Made it to the end of the video. I want to say thank you for checking me out. Thank you for making it to the end and watching it all. Hopefully that you are gaining a little bit of information every time you watch one of these. And then also, hopefully you're understanding that we both got the same interests in some of the random, crazy, creepy things out there that could be true, that could not be true. You know what I mean? And, so with that being said, please definitely like, share, comment down there on whatever that is in this video, man. I want to hear from y'all. If y'all got some other different things about ley lines that you want anybody else to know, definitely leave it in there. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, stay the positive, never to the negative. Always remember that. Go out with a day, baby. You play, you will like to live. You better live it for today.